Well, we are live. Apparently, the couch started the stream. Okay. So, couch wanted to take over for a little while. I see what's going on. Well, welcome everyone to another Apollo Justice live stream. Apparently, trying to be taken over by the couch. I don't know what the couch is gonna do. Couch can't do voices. Trying to read visual novels over here. I was busy getting tea. Couch trying to steal the show from me. Let me get my controller. Alright. Now that I'm all set. The couch can't take it from me anymore unless I say so. Last time out, we've met Blackwell's sister. We met Yuri Cosmos. We found out the robots are taking over the Space Center. Yeah, and everybody got real positive at some point. We'll see if that positivity stays, though. Let me get the in-game audio going. Alright. December 20th, 10:15 a.m. District Court room number 5. All rise. The fuck? Where's the judge? 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 Yeah, steep long enough. I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something.
Objection!
Your Honor? Could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs. I promise.
No. Yes. My apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. And then Mr. Tonate self-destructed.
I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tonate.
Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tonate's actions.
Was he? Was he really? Yes, he was.
So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense. Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready.
Very well. Is the prosecution also ready?
Gotta get back in my zone for Blackwell. I just got done. Right before stream, I was watching a little bit of, what's the channel? Legends of Evantris, so maybe I'll be in my, my voice acting zone. Probably not yet. We'll see.
I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time.
Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful colorful prosecutors. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Yeah. Cash won the stream, man. Yeah, that game last night. Fun fucking game. I literally went up to take a shower, and as I was getting out of the shower, I said to myself, I was like, watch the Angels are up like 6-3. Somehow Jorge Soler homered even though he's suspended. I come down, and they're in a commercial, so I'm not paying attention. I look over at the game, or I look over at my monitor, and I see Mike Trout homered, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I look at the game, and I'm like, how? How did that happen? But, I mean, you can't really entirely blame Romano for it. The blame first goes to Peraza and Neto. Because if they don't have that miscommunication, if one of them calls off to catch that ball, we're looking at a different ball game. Not saying the Angels win, but different ball game. So you blame Romano somewhat. He's been playing good since then. We do get Kirby Yates back tomorrow, hopefully, so that's a positive. But yeah, we're totally going to lose this series because there's no way the bullpen game we're going to win unless the offense goes fucking off. There's no way we're winning this bullpen game today. I will be keeping tabs on it, though, because it starts here in 30 minutes. Also, you missed the couch. The couch started the stream. The couch literally started the stream. I was upstairs making some tea. And I come down the stream. The transition's been made to the couch. I'm like, what happened? What the fuck happened? Couch took over the stream for a couple minutes. It was weird.
Let's see, in the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Tehran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosives on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself.
Couch most likely was making mania picks. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. You better not have fucking picked Brock. Even though that is the most well-built matchup in the entirety of Mania, you better not pick Brock.
The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge.
And
how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point?
Turned on YouTube and it said, fuck Brock. 100% good. Good job, Couch. Good job. Good job. I will say, it is the best built match. They've done a great job of building that match. Like, I haven't even been paying attention to the shows fully. But they did a great job building that match. How about Darby Allin winning the title last night? Anybody else thrown the fuck off by that? I'm assuming MJF must have gotten injured during the Kenny Omega match at Dynasty. And they just had to, you know, quickly put that title on Darby. Because I'm shocked they did it. Yeah, it was a squash, I know. But I was surprised they did that because I was like, okay. I'm shocked you did the match then and didn't hold it off for Double or Nothing, which is, I think, when it was supposed to happen. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know their booking, so. Double checking things real quick. Wow! Did you know Mike Trout has never had a 50 home run season? I just found that out. Rematch for MJF to win it back when MJF heals up. Like, I don't know if he got injured or what happened, but that just strikes me as weird that they did it then. Like, we all knew Darby was getting that title. It just seems so weird to do it then exactly. I will say, I hate they brought Sting back for that, because when the second I saw, like, I didn't even see that he won it yet. I saw the clip with Sting first, and I was like, oh, so he won the title. Like, that's the only reason you're bringing Sting in for anything. Darby won the title. And I'm like, that just seems weird. Weird that you also brought Sting back for a segment, which obviously just didn't really need to do that, but okay. I get him coming out at the end. That makes total sense, and I think that you keep that. You just don't have a segment with Sting in the back. Because if Sting shows up before the match, I'm automatically going like, oh yeah, you're winning. Yeah, you're winning. Led Zeppel. Yeah, Sting's talking to you. Yeah, you're winning. I mean, Darby should have took the title off Mox. I agree with that. 100% agree with that. I get why they went Hangman, but it should have been Darby. It's very weird. The booking of the world title at times for AEW is strange. I don't believe they've ever had a bad choice so far for a title holder. I'll give them that. But the order in which it happens is very strange. Very strange. I hope Darby hangs on to that title for a while, though. Because if he doesn't, it's going to be real pointless. Because you have built Darby up for a long time to do this. I think he'd legitimately, and I'm not one to feel like a guy needs to hold on to it forever. He better get near a year. If he doesn't get near a year run, it's not gonna be good. It's either that or he has to be beat by somebody that, you know, it's like, yeah, no, there was no way Darby was winning that one. Something to that effect. Yeah, it's not been bad, but it's been awkward. That's a good way to look at it. It's been an awkward way to get to Darby. Although, giving the title to MJF is never a bad thing. The Samoa Joe win was the one that I was like, I'm not mad he has it, I just don't get why you gave it to him. That feels transitional. And it was. And I love me some Joe. MJF is a perfect emergency champion. Perfect. Because that dude can hang on to the title forever and it would make sense. It's him and Mox. They're the emergency champions. Which, Mox makes sense. It's just I'm sick and tired of watching Mox with a title. If I'm being honest. Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Dono's argument was correct. So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect. Oh, I mean, did you think he wasn't gonna get over? That man is easily likable. He's naturally funny. Like, the whole "you've been cursed" thing is money. His merch, albeit not my favorite merch of his, is still beautifully done. Like, Danhausen was getting over, and there was no way he wasn't. They were mad because it wasn't Jericho. Like, people were only mad because it wasn't Jericho. Like, if somebody says they don't like Danhausen, you can't trust that person. You can't trust that person. I will say they're doing the curse perfect. They're doing it on characters that it works with. They're not doing it on the overly super serious characters. They're doing it on The Miz, Kit Wilson, fucking Speed was good. Like, those are good choices for the curse. Because it's people you can understand playing along with it and it actually affecting. Dom was a good one to do it on, given he was going to drop that title anyway. Yes, fucking Rudy Charles in the tag match. TNA Senior Official Rudy Charles. That was wonderfully done. It comes off like a house show spot, but I love it. I fucking love it. Ah, it's so good. So good. His theme is also fucking goated, like... Danhausen is wonderful. He's never a guy that needs a title. But I could totally see you putting him up with, like, CM Punk for a tag title match. And them winning it once. And boom, he gets a title on his resume. Like, that would be fun. But he's never going to be a guy that wins, like, a big-time title, and that's fine. He's just there to be a fucking fantastic comedy watch. Hell, I'll tell you now, he's already been booked 10 times better than he was in AEW. They did not know how to book him, mainly because they didn't know how to book him without booking wrestling. That's the issue. He's not to be booked as a serious wrestler, and that's the issue. Because Orange Cassidy, as much as he's a comedy act, can be booked as a serious wrestler. They didn't know how to book a legit just comedy act. WWE knows how to book that. So, it is fantastic. He fits the mold perfectly. This is why the split between the two companies needs to be more kind of, if you can do it all, you kind of fit WWE's mold. If you're more a wrestler than anything else, you go to AEW. That's just the way it needs to work. I will say, I do believe at some point MJF's in WWE. At least for one run. It'll probably be very late in his career, but I think it'll happen at some point. I mean, he's still a comedy act. They now treat him more seriously than they have, but he's still a comedy act. He's just not treated as only a comedy act now. He was at one point just a comedy act there to break guys. Remember, he broke Brock Lesnar. That promo is one of the greatest things of all time because Brock Lesnar literally breaks character in the middle of the promo, and it's awesome. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. That accursed fellow. He killed my witness. He killed Detective Arm. He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. I will throw you over the top rope, Paul Heyman. So good. God, he's so good. Ron Killings is a fucking gem. Fucking gem. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection! To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man. Or a stupid one.
Oh, he doesn't have to, but I'm not gonna lie, if he somehow stumbled into a title win, like a probably World Heavyweight Championship title win, even though they've done a good job of treating that better than they had. But if he, like, somehow fell ass backwards into a top title win, I would be totally down. Like, the best way to do it, and this is, one, I want the match to come back because it's fun, and two, I think it would be just so much fun to do it with R-Truth, the Championship Scramble. If you remember the Championship Scramble, you will remember that technically, by the rules of the Scramble, Brian Kendrick is a former WWE champion. Because with the Scramble, it's whoever has the last pinfall when time runs out is the champion. Which means you are a champion during the match. Which technically means Brian Kendrick is a former WWE champion. I don't think it's on his credentials, but technically it's a thing. So doing something like that would be kind of fun, so R-Truth could constantly say he's won the title. I think that would be fun. I think that would be fucking fun. Are they ever gonna do that? No. Would it be awesome if they did? Yes. Would I hope that they don't incorporate any celebrities into it because the celebrity influence is really getting fucking annoying? Yep.
To make such reckless claims in a court...
Oh, I already did that. I already read it.
There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty again? Or have you gone dotty already, old man?
Objection!
We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. What is the age difference here? There's no way the age difference is that much. Let's see. So Phoenix is 33. It's a 5-year age difference. It's a 5-year age difference. Come on. Come on. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee, who just so happens to be Phoenix's exact type, also saw a suspicious figure at the scene.
They saw a third person.
I see my sister has been running her mouth.
That's right! I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. Fuck, that's gonna make things difficult.
No matter. She didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant.
I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there.
In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene.
Director Cosmos, huh?
Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand.
Thought I clicked it. Oh, he's even got a scooter on the stand.
Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. Of course you have. Of course you have, for I'm Yuri, Cosmos. director of the Cosmos Space Station, which was, of course, named after me, Yuri Cosmos.
I love the JoJo pose.
Don't you have anything you wish to ask me?
Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. He does have the Waluigi stash, and I respect it, because Waluigi is the GOAT.
7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1, and...
Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I'm trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony?
I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my... epical testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history.
Why the fuck would anyone have Waluigi dating Rosalina? That's incest. Because theory-wise, Rosalina is Luigi's daughter. And in Waluigi, their uncle? In canon? That's always what I thought. I thought Wario and Waluigi were their uncles. My Mario lore is, you know, way down there, so. That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now? Luigi and Mario aren't related? They're not? I thought they were. I thought they were supposed to be like Mario's evil uncles. Mario and Luigi's evil uncles. That's what I always thought. I don't know the lore. I don't give a shit about Mario lore. So. All I care about is the fact that I can sit there while playing Mario Party and annoy the shit out of people by just having Wario go, wah-ho, wah-ho, like constantly. I love it. Sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. Probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head.
Now then, Director Cosmos. The condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge, and Tyran lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck.
Mario calls people stinky and Mario got Toadstool Tour? Really? That's great. That's great.
I see. So in your testimony you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge, and just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror! The humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger, risking my own life for theirs.
Well, What do you think? It sounds like the director really cares about his men. Yeah. Although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away.
Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw more information before I do anything else. Alright, let's press the shit out of this old man.
Hold it!
Where were you coming from?
The 6th floor. We were making sure any stragglers made their way to the 4th floor. It was then we heard about Starbuck and Turan, and hurried to the 3rd floor lounge. Oh my! Galactic Scooter, here! Of course.
Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does it have something to do with space?
Of course! It's specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships.
I see. Then I take it works in 0G too?
Sadly, no. The current state of technology as it is. I'm afraid it will just float around and be galactically useless.
Well, that's a galactic bummer.
I see. So you rushed to the boarding lounge on your space-age pogo stick. And when you got to the scene, what did you see?
Alright, this is where I'm interested to see if he adds more. Let's see. According to this diagram, you didn't have to go through the control room to get to boarding 1. It looks like you could have gone there from the southern corridor as well.
Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arm rushed ahead of me towards the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her.
I see.
So we peeked into the boarding lounge from the control room door and...
Hold it!
So you couldn't see who that figure was clearly, or what they were doing.
Sadly, the one thing I could tell was that it was a person, standing, motionless.
The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there?
So close, but without evidence, I can't prove that person's the third party.
I don't relish in this. And...
Hold it!
Aura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. But she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly?
No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Turan, but I couldn't see who the other person was.
So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Isn't that correct?
I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director?
Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Turan were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished.
You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off the scene? I just realized, yep, I need to up the volume on my mic.
Just for a brief instant. About as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by.
If you took your eyes off of the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time.
But what escape route could this person have used?
The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that one.
Objection!
All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof?
Well,
If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon.
I didn't know Ozzy Osbourne was a professor. Scary little green men. You see them scary little green men. It's the end. It's a very good track. Big fan. Scary little green men. It's a good track. Game has started in New York. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it.
But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists?
He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't have any proof yet. Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. Better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why did you look away from the boarding lounge?
There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arms saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her.
What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure?
I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer.
I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun?
I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure.
2 warning shots. So wait a minute. So she fired 2 warning shots. So we have the bullet hole here, and we have this bullet. So I assume those are both of her warning shots.
This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony.
Okay.
Hold it!
Let's get more info. And neither of these two shots hit the culprit.
That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose.
But did she really? There's something about this that bothers me. So Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? That's the first time that info has come out. Oh, oh, Trout flied out to right. Fuck. Wonder if I can find any inconsistencies. So, let's go ahead and go to this one. So the only question here is it the bullet hole? Or is it the bullet? That right now is my biggest question. Because I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure it's the bullet hole first and then the bullet, but we'll see. I'm gonna go with the bullet hole first.
Objection!
Hey, Joe Adele walks. 4 pitches, nice. Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing?
You doubt my words? Words that will someday be written in history books.
Somehow I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Who's DHing? Oh, Trout's DHing. Alright, interesting setup.
Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand?
Oswald Peraza 2-run home run. Dude, this man's having a absolute heater of a series against his old team. I love it. Nice job, Oswald. You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole has ever been found, was ever found at the scene. Turn my mic up just a tad bit more.
What? What?
Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once, and yet Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. 2 shots of vodka. Okay, made Freed throw 18 pitches. That's not terrible. I would have liked him to throw 20, but not bad. Also got 2 runs out of it, so I'm not complaining. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirm the 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ah!
You should know the answer to that already.
I should?
During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun, the same caliber as the detective's gun.
Okay, that's interesting. Interesting situation. So they say there are two bullets. Or two shots fired. When we only have one bullet from her gun and a bullet from another gun. Gotta keep that in mind.
The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Oh yeah, it is Suitor to begin.
Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from.
One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement, and the detective fired 2 shots.
My beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone. So the bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I better update the record.
Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Miss Wright, does that clear up all of your questions?
Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display, and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene? Oh, no, it does not. I've got so many questions. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person.
Oh.
Very well, but it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene?
See, that's Arm's gun. Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be?
Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor.
You found it where?
In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arm's .38 calibers.
Then that means...
And there we go, Judge homered. We knew that was going to happen. Well, that takes care of one part of a parlay for me. I got that done already. That was nice. Kinda knew that was gonna happen against the bullpen game. Speaking of homers, I just want to check. Dear Lord, it's 3-0 Nats. Fuck. Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire .10 caliber bullets. So a tiny little paper mache vehicle for a bullet. Damn, belly single. God damn. Now he's got 2 outs. The fuck happened? Double play? End of the first quarter, what happened? Yeah, Suter only threw 14 pitches, that's not bad. I may never know. Ah, yeah, grounded into a double play. That explains it. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now?
Bro, dude's bullshit.
What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before.
Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know?
Foolish old geezer.
So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw.
You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you are just another witness. You won't receive any special treatment here. Now, please give accurate testimony.
Whew.
Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing there, menacingly, in the middle of the room, and Tehran on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure shot at us. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant?
Not necessarily. It's still possible that was someone else. Most likely as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock. Also, I'm 90% sure they did not go through the control room, and I'm pretty sure the way this went down was they came through the southern exit, shot the warning shots. He shot at he shot them. They shot. Detective Arm shot the warning shots. That's why the bullet's over on that side. And then he left through the control room. So yeah. And the only person who could go through the control room is Director Cosmos. Good job, guys. Good job. Good job. You answered. I'm gonna assume you answered.
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one, and it is you who was cut down.
Huh?
Your reasoning could apply if Spaceboy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10-caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence.
What evidence?
Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket. Naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit.
I did forget all about that.
Look, your boldness, how deliciously obvious it is that they lack the evidence to rival mine.
Wow, he sliced our third-party theory, or our third-person theory, to ribbons and served it to us, just like that.
Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit, exactly?
That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense.
It hit me. So does that mean you're a ghost?
I was wondering when you would realize it, your boldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman.
Your boldness. It was all in jest. Please show yourself again.
Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle. A miracle befitting a great, history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. Thereby, it ricocheted.
That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh, wow. Look at that. There's one extra Gaiac star. The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle. Oh, fuck. It's beginning to really feel like the Cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos.
But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion. no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight, the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand.
I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Okay, so we only threw 15 pitches at him. Ugh.
Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Okay.
Hold it!
We've already heard all about that part. Don't you have any new information?
Well, let me see. If you have an hour or two, I could tell you all about the Hat One miracle.
Hold it!
We already know all about that too. Tell us about something related to this incident.
I see. You want to know about incidents. Well then, let me tell you about the many incidents that made me the man I am today. Yes, if you have the time, I will tell you all about the upbringing of this great man.
Hold it!
You've told us all about that already as well. What we need now is your testimony.
Did I already tell you all about my upbringing? I don't recall doing so. Director Cosmos, perhaps you could save your boastful tales for later. If I must. Well, we peeked in through the control room door and...
Hold it!
But it was so dark, you couldn't see this figure's face, isn't that right?
Yes, the room was as deep and dark as outer space itself. Speaking of outer space, during the Hat 1 launch 7 years ago...
If it's about that Hat One miracle again, you can sod off and tell it to a stray mutt.
Ha ha ha! Excellent idea. No reason why the animal world shouldn't hear of my greatness.
And so they shall. But first, your testimony. What happened next?
Oh.
Hold it!
So in other words, you were fired at while you were at the control room door.
That is correct.
There's something not quite right about that. Do we have a picture of the control room? We do. Yep. Director Cosmos, the bullet this person fired hit you, isn't that right?
Yes, it was a miracle. A miracle befitting a great, history-making figure such as myself. The bullet the figure fired hit me while I was in the control room. But as the Cosmos would have it, the bullet bounced off my glorious Medal of Honor.
Dear Lord, this is a crazy fucking at-bat against Jazz Chisholm. An 8-pitch at-bat right now. Well, 9-pitch coming up. In that case, the bullet should have wound up somewhere around the control room door. Oh, did he walk? Fuck. You guys are getting both visual novel and me getting to watch the Angels game, albeit not the fun way of watching it. Okay, so Director Cosmos was in the control room to the east. And while he was there, he was shot at by someone with a 10 caliber gun. But the bullet hit his metal, so he was able to escape with his life. He's a very lucky man. No wonder people think he's great. Hey, I'm pretty lucky myself. So if he's a great man, then I'm king of all the cosmos. Alright. So there's two things to go with. I could go with the door, but I don't think that fits. I think the better thing that fits is where we discovered this bullet.
Objection!
Director Cosmos, I believe you are telling this great court a glorious lie. Glorious. He's telling lies, they are glorious. He's bullshitting these lies. Yeah. If anyone's coming out to Bobby Roode's theme, it's fucking Detective Cosmo or Director Cosmos. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? Yes, very much so. My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door. And the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the 10 caliber bullet here. Oh! This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Gah! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you... Oh, fuck. Caballero singled. Shit. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
I'm not questioning that. I'm questioning the fact that the bullet didn't go that way. Just saying. But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency?
Of course.
I didn't think so. What? God damn it, a double steal? Wait, we have no outs? I thought... We have 2 outs. God, the game cast on ESPN is dog shit right now, man. There we go. I had to refresh to get the 2 outs. Fuck.
Oh, great Detective Director Cosmos.
Keep wanting to call him detective.
Yes? Is there something you'd like me to expound on?
You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right?
Gah!
What are you getting at?
Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest.
Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my hair?
Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south.
I agree with that. I think he's right on that. Ah! That makes some sense, actually.
Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution.
Huh? I've got a bad feeling about this.
How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time.
Yikes! His handcuffs!
You will become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man.
All right, I'll tell the truth. Just put your sword away. You were correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door.
What? That's the complete opposite of all the testimony he's given so far.
And now you have lost your possibility that a third person was in the room.
I have? How? I mean, right now, I think I know who did it. Just based on the information we have currently, I know who my prime suspect is. We'll see if things get allotted to down the line, but I already have an idea.
The director and the detective were near the southern door, meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one.
My third person just disappeared. Like in one of Trucy's magic tricks.
Order! Order in the court! Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie?
You were covering for the defendant, isn't that right?
Yes. It was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for the third person.
What a convoluted lie. Is he really covering for the defendant? I do want to see one thing. I haven't checked this at all, but that's not what I wanted. Yeah, here we go. This is what I want. Hell yeah. Well, I take it all back. That is not what I want. Alright. Oh, that's the DLC. Okay, there's 2 parts to this day. Okay. Oh wow, we're actually at the end of this. That's crazy. Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. I didn't realize we were that close to the intermission, quote unquote. Okay, that's awesome. Happy for that.
Looks like we've come to a conclusion. That the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person, has crumbled.
No!
It's over.
Yikes. The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix. Think. This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Yeah, it's very obvious who the culprit was. It's very obvious. Yeah, okay. We might actually get through this whole thing today. Maybe. That's very surprising because I kind of didn't expect it. Time out. There's a UFL game today? Oh, wow. I didn't realize they were playing a Thursday game. Holy shit. We get UFL football today. Kings versus Gamblers on NFL Network. Did not realize. Cool. Alright. That's awesome. Wait. What if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmo said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person.
The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility.
Oh, said better be good, Mr. Wright.
There is one and only one other person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them.
Very well. Let's hear more about this theory.
Damn. Joe Adele, grounded out, fuck.
Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge?
Take that!
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here?
Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door after all.
But that means...
Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos.
What?
What?
Order! Order in the court, I say. Mr. Wright, you would explain yourself in more detail.
I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired 2 warning shots.
I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
Captain Wright, it's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. A magnificent shot.
Make it so. Make it so. Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept.
Cosmos, you told a lie in this court once again.
I've been hit on the port side. The enemy has called in reinforcements.
Earth to Cosmos Control Center. Requesting permission to talk that you return to reality.
But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence.
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scars. If Director Cosmos is the third person or a Blackwell Saul, Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber gun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Oh god, the burps are hitting, and the Angels still have Suitor in it picture. Looks like a lot of this is pretty easy to get through, which is nice. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you received from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge. Brace for further impact. Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. Oh, yeah, the bullet.
Take that!
The .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have the ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure that the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from the .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for. Grah! The bridge is destroyed, losing altitude, all hands, abandon ship! That's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? No, you've got it all wrong. What? The engines have started again. It's a miracle. I'm not going down yet. Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth. God damn it, walking Grisham. Fuck. Oh, that's genius. Walt Grisham would judge up. That's a genius idea. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center? Gah, but the cosmos revolves around me! God, he's making me dizzy. Someone get me off this crazy thing! Order! Order in the court! And will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Okay, so they brought Sandlin in for judge. This is gonna be a long game. Whew. Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth.
While he was twirling, I took the liability of running an analysis on the mark of the metal.
God, I can't read today.
It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm.
Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No, you've got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding. Is he going to start piling on more lies? Looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. Woo! That is the to be continued mark, so we're halfway. Woo! Did he homer again? No, he did not. Awesome. Wow. Woo! I was worried with Judge up. Now Belly's up. Alright. So I think we should be able to finish this. Should. We'll see. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They're claiming that you were this third person. Oh, forgive me. I'm so sorry.
So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous curve. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly.
Ah! The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this one. Oh shit, Grisham got caught stealing. Fuck yeah. Fine, I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. Then, went past the elevators and all the way around to boarding lounge 1 again. Came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene.
What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts.
I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Dear God, they walked belly. Fuck. Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge, alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness. Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you. And Giancarlo Stanton just homered. 2-run shot. God damn it. Fucking shit. Well, the Angels are down 3-2. That's probably the ball game at this point. Unless the offense gets going, that might be the ball game. No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall. I will say also, the Angels are getting terrible calls and they're not challenging. That's also hurting them. I also don't know how many challenges they have. They may have wasted their challenges already, but they're getting some awful calls. That is an excellent point. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. Whoops. Well, it makes sense if he told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. Alright. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof? Ah, I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct? Yes. And? Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll cooperate me.
The director is not fibbing to the court for once. Confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified.
So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. and that you arrived at the lounge after that. Yes, I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although, it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person.
and I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an Earthling.
As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer.
No, we can't.
Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw.
Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I had to avoid getting shot. When I tried to get another look, they'd vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door and, well, the launch pad 1 door. The control room door should have been shut tight to the killer.
So you were shot at by the killer as well? And then they disappeared?
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Fortunately, the bullet hit Turan's oxygen tank.
No, we know which bullet hit the oxygen tank.
I know because I heard a pang, and that must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? Right. What a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Turan and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Turan's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared?
I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at. But when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Turan with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence.
A riddle of the ages indeed, but I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great.
A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself even if those around him don't understand.
Wow, that must be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly?
Simple, because it was Spaceboy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit.
I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor?
No, because it was dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room.
That wasn't exactly helpful.
I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono?
Can't find any holes in his testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This just might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. See what you can do with him. You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Alright, Widget, let's do this shit. God damn it, man. We have grounded out to the pitcher a shit ton. Okay. Okay. Why? Okay, I've got two I'm looking at right now. I'm thinking this first, because there's no surprise that the dude vanished. No shock at all. You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually. And yet, at the time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? Why are you... I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right? What? No. Of course not. That's preposterous. God damn, that was a quick fourth inning. God. Yeah, the Yankees are taking this with ease now. They're going to take it with ease. Oh, I didn't know that's where Luis Renifo went. He went to Milwaukee. All these games are fairly low scoring. It's kind of disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. And Marcelo Zuna homered, which doesn't help me. Dear Lord, O'Neal Cruz has had a good day and none of it helps me. Griffin tripled? No, they've been inside the park home run. That would have been awesome. Fuck. The eye can enter the control room, and the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it improbable. And as for the southern door... was standing right there, so there was nowhere for the killer to run to. Ooh, we got a 6-6 ball game now. The Nats-Pirates game is a fun one. Maybe, or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Turan, yes? Or it's Tehran, because it's Clay Tehran later on. It's great. I love the puns. What if the culprit took the opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door? I highly doubt it, as you recall, right after I entered the lounge. Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape there would have been caught by her. And yet, the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use? It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get it. Alright. Back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. So... Okay. Yep. Why is he sad about that? That is a question that needs to be answered. Why is he upset about that? Because he doesn't have any emotion on the other two doors. Why this one? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launchpad door. The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I'm most certainly not. Director Cosmos, there's something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Wow, he's speechless. Looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data, and yes, just what I wanted to see. Ooh, down to 70. Presto changeo, less discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here?
Take that!
Yes. I mean, no! Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid! A master tactician, you are not. And the area beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True. But this is still the only logical answer there is it's not. I was thinking, oh, you didn't want to talk about it, that's why we went to it. It's the other room. You can just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door. Oh, should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. But that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Turan, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened the security lock. Do you? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past the security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. Dear Lord, Chisholm's gonna walk. That's a near guarantee now. Yep, Chisholm walked. Where is he?
Take that!
That's...
Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anyone could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. I can't believe I remembered that. I'm very surprised I actually remembered that just off the top of my head and didn't have to go looking. Looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet.
You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it?
Huh? Oh, yes, by all means.
There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1.
Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor?
If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Then, the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic?
I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, your baldness.
I beg your pardon.
Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point...
Oh my! The footage cuts off!
The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged, most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens.
I thought it was such a good idea, too.
Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa Baldness.
Prosecutor Blackwood, how did you know about my grandchild?
I wonder who it is. I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Dr. Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge?
If I must.
Okay. Whoops. Whoops. Wait. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. Yeah, but that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door.
Then, the detective shot at me. So you see, the killer couldn't only escaped to the launch pad right. The launch pad, right?
God damn it, another single. I don't know really what the emotion is I'm looking for here. Huh. I don't know what I'm looking for here, emotion-wise. Think I'm gonna have to go the walkthrough for this one. Just because, like, I want to say it's this, I just don't know what the emotion I'm looking for is. I mean, it's saying that it's surprise here. Oh. Oh. Like, I just say as, oh, he's surprised she's there. But yeah, that makes good mass. Okay, that's actually something I never thought about with those, is you have to look at how much of that emotion is being used at a spot compared to other spots. I actually didn't even think about that. Yep, that makes total sense. Yeah, at this point, I think we'll definitely make it through, because we're very much close to the end. And the Angels got through the 4th without giving up another run. Yay. Grisham almost homered, though. Scares the shit out of me. Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you, and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather that you were surprised by what just you were surprised by. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But, considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprised reaction is the fact you were more surprised when Arm came in. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than by being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence Operation Hide Under Your Desk. Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Not yet. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launch pad door. Whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. He was doing something suspicious around that door. Maybe we can spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. This is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Hey, look at that. There is a change. Something definitely different. Director Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you. That's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All I have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation.
Don't be ridiculous.
If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. This thing.
Take that!
The answer is this knob.
Ah, that's...
Whoops, wrong button. Your Honor, please take a look at this footage.
Let's see.
Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical.
And what does that mean?
It means the man's guilty. Fucking put him behind bars. Dear Lord, really? He just went through that inning, no fucking problem. That was what, 5 pitches? That's insane. Max Fried got through that real quick. We are going to need a miracle just to get back in this one. It's only a 1-run game. Seager not in the order? They're not playing Corey Seager? Yeah, Seager's not in the order. Oh, well, that fucking sucks. Welp. Welp, welp, welp. That's all I can say about that one. Welp. All right. Yep, okay then. Give the auto mod credit. It's done a good job as of late. If I'm not paying attention. It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. Roar! After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? Fine, I admit it. You're right, I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock, meaning to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Punko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. Guess that clears up what the knob is for. Oh, so if the killer escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site. Don't think so. The Launchpad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, when did the killer escape to? Where did the killer escape to? Guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail.
Fine, but listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony.
He's very happy about that. Okay. There's no emotion in that. You have no emotion seeing a sea of smoke. When we view your emotions alongside your testimony, we find the unexpected emotion. Wait a minute. Really isn't anything strange here. I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright. I think maybe you're right. Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion where some... Well, shit. Is it the anger, then? Why is he mad about that? Okay. Like, the emotions I'm confused by here because, like, I get why he's angry here. I keep going back to the happiness here. Yep. Alright. I kept going back there because I'm like, why is he happy? I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet, when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself.
How did you do it? You know everything as if you were there.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda.
How do you know about that too?
Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing.
But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you. So there.
I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake.
And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intellect, and integrity?
Oh my god, he's got all three eyes. Dun 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 ba dun 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 bum ba dun 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 dun. Director Cosmos, more like Kurt Angle. He's got intensity, intelligence, and integrity. He's got the three eyes.
Silence.
You, a man of integrity, don't make me laugh.
Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden?
You spouted nothing but falsities since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest barefaced liar an honor.
Look, liar! His words bite harder than his blade.
You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions? My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you.
You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend.
And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on scene.
What? Liar! So that means the director didn't move the launch pad?
Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content.
Liar! But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to.
You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out? Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking.
I will say he hurts my neck doing his voice.
Chasing your fantasies and see reality. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to, boy?
Talk about hitting below the belt. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob, not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be?
What are you blathering about?
What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? And then after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right where the police found it. Yeah. You made him sigh like Mr. Starbucks. Like Mr. Starbuck. I said Starbucks. Dear Lord. Was what I said really that off base?
It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, a great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astro Wonders made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film.
Oh, right.
So to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy.
Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved, but our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me. Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Huh? Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? Fuck yeah. Dell got on base, we got a runner in scoring position, come on Oswald. And what if, when the director moved the launch pad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? Then, what would you say then?
Cut the existential bull, or I'll cut you.
Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once.
I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmo's reason for moving Launchpad 1 was... to trap the true killer, no. I think to switch it with another place. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place.
I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with?
Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1.
Take that!
Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum.
In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It has all the same features as Launchpad 1, and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning, the Space Museum and the Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other.
You can't mean...
The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum.
What?
Boulder Dash!
And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. Fuck yeah, Oswald Peraza doubled. We've tied up the ball game. Holy shit. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from Boarding Lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from Boarding Lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from Boarding Lounge 2. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There is no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. Oh yeah, we getting going now. Music's hitting. Everything's zooming. Tampa Bay scored. How did they score? I have to know. I'm assuming it was an RBI of some sort. And not a home run. It was not. It was a Walls RBI. Why are the Angels now favored to win? What the fuck is happening? That's weird. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into Boarding Lounge 1 and waited there, concealed, in order to kill Mr. Tehran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Miss Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we can suppose, after killing Mr. Tehran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway.
Right, Dono. I see you know how to handle a sword, and handle it well. Perhaps I should call you Sword Master Bluff.
I'm a seasoned warrior who can cut down many a prosecutor.
Silence.
But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword.
Oh, we got an RBI single from Grissom. Fuck yeah. Runners at the corners, baby. With only one out. I don't know who they put in. They put in a new pitcher? They did. And that was on a second pitch. That's right. You have no proof I switched the launch pads. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see. This is an image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Do you see anything different when we compare it to the security footage? Huh. That number on the floor. Well, What do you know? Looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. Blackwell.
And if this is just another bluff,
Oh, don't worry. It's all right here. Right in this footage. Oh, I actually never saw the number. I never saw that number. That's actually very well, like, hidden. If you're not paying attention to it, you're probably not going to pay that, like, really see it. I like that. I like that a lot. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum.
Very well then. Answer this for me, if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum?
Take that!
There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor on the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2.
what?
Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum. And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1 on the side opposite the Space Museum. And now that we know the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Tehran carrying Mr. Starbuck simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level.
Just incredible. The 2 launch pads were actually switched. You'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude.
Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. There we go. Walk. Ooh, base is loaded with 2 outs. Oh, can we do anything? Come on, Joshua. Do something. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm headed out. No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth.
My honor, my glory. Everything is slipping away. Time to deploy emergency provisions. Galactic engine. Ignition. What? It's gone haywire. It won't stop. My stars. My glory. I'm losing Mario Party. No, not that way. No.
There's a lot of guying and yawing in that.
Bailiff, on your steed and after that witness. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm.
Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads?
I admit it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. It is good to hear words I can believe for a change.
Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Tehran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Turan would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Turan feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with.
No, please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast.
The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Not a good time to pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge or rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars.
This is a weird at-bat. Josh Lowe has fouled off 4 different balls. He's sitting at a 2-2 count. This is a crazy-ass inning. Or crazy-ass at-bat here in the inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
I don't get it.
Don't get it? What don't you get?
Director, why'd you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? Fuck yeah, Low single to center!
Fuck yeah!
2 scored. It's 6-3. The Angels have a legit lead. Holy shit. Oh god, and they pinch hit Adam Frazier? Oh shit. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Adam Frazier's been playing really well this season so far. From the very beginning, well, you tricked us. Mr. Starbuck.
Starbuck, my boy, I'm sorry.
I can't tell you the reason why,
but I had to do it to protect the Space Center.
Director, will I ever get the chance to go into space again? They all look so happy there. Even Aura, who seems like she's probably pissed all the time.
Yes. Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy.
And the dream is still alive.
Silence.
Ah, man, Frazier struck out swinging. I was feeling real good about him being up there. But 3-run lead I will take. It was a 4-run inning. I'm not going to complain.
You're not going into space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way.
Why are you so hung up on him?
Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. But if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's right. I don't have any proof.
Starbuck, you will spill everything you know.
What? Me?
Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, My blade shall feast on your blood.
God, if I'm going to die, I want to die in space. I have to do something.
Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself.
Yeah. Now, you know violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackwhittle. That annoyingly cheerful laugh. It can be none other than... Champion of Righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. In justice, we trust. Detective Fulbright? Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. I don't believe we had an appointment. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a catfight. Tell ya, justice sure is a full-time job. Was it a fight between cats, or... Why are you here again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Fulbright. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head.
Oh, great. Ben Rice homered. Nice, love that. I can look over and I see Ben Rice homers immediately, so now it's only a 2-run lead. I don't even know who's pitching. Okay, it's still Sam, okay. Nope, but it looks like you've succumbed to the phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment.
What evidence?
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence. I just want to finish this because we're right at the end. We are literally right at the end here. Yeah, we're literally right at the end. So what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed. Have a look at this. What's this? A lighter? That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim, Clay Turon's blood, along with the killer's fingerprints on it. What? Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent! This is it. This is what I needed. Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. With pleasure, Your Honor. Oh, Sam Bachman got brought in. Okay. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Turan, they escaped with lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally the killer left through boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder, a fact that director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence.
But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he have not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during the span of time?
Objection!
You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackquill, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. More importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what that means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit.
This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claim.
As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck.
No, there must be some mistake.
Frankly, Prosecutor Blackquill, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency, because tomorrow...
Silence.
Fulbright, you promised never to speak of that.
Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Oh, stolen base, okay.
Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime, few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant Solomon Starbuck
Not guilty! Yeah! Woo! Confetti! Hey! Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright. Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright. 6th ended off. Oh, a pickoff! Fuck yeah. We'll get the top of the order in the bottom of the 7th, so that'll be rough. Used 4 pitchers so far. Angels are going to need a really good game tomorrow from Jose Soriano. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you. Please thank Apollo for me too. You all are the best. Oh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too. But that's gonna have to wait.
Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Woo!
Objection!
Uh-oh. It's too late to object, isn't it?
It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict?
Fulbright, what were the results of the fingerprints analysis for the lighter?
Huh? The results? Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was the cat fight, and, well, I kinda got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck's, so...
You have yet to read it.
Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to?
Upon further analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes.
The fuck?
So says the report.
What? What? Huh? Me? What the fuck's going on, man?
Order! I say, order! Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion.
I don't know how they got there, but I know I'm not the culprit. Tim Netto's in a very rough patch right now. This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece, and I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? What have I done? Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying.
What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad.
Order! Order! I will have order!
Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Show me that to be continued. Oh! End it, baby! Okay. With that, that brings us to the end of episode 4. So, to the game menu. Gotta remind myself, okay, yeah, we do still have the DLC. I had to remind myself we still have the DLC. Woo! Is that our boy Edgeworth? Right there? Looks crazy. But we still have 2 left, the special episode and of course episode 5. So we will start up episode 5 next week. But that's where we are going to call it for today. I definitely wanted to make sure we got that done after seeing how short it was. So I'm glad that I was able to do that. And Mike Trout just solo shotted. Fuck yeah, Mikey. Fucking Mike Trout is a man on a fucking mission. He is having a phenomenal year right now. This is awesome. But we will start episode 5 next week. As for tomorrow, we got the Nuzlocke. We'll talk WrestleMania and all that tomorrow, though. Given we will be live Saturday and Sunday. With that, though, Dash, I appreciate you being here. You're watching After the Fact, or we're just chilling in the chat. I appreciate you, too. Let me get some music going for you guys. I forgot to lower my volume. But with that, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you, wait for it, next time. Oh, and heads up, no upload today just because I didn't get anything set up for today. You'll probably get FIU Season 7, the finale, Saturday. That'll probably go up. So with that, I'll see you guys next time.